On the outside, this could be any home in any Australian suburb. But inside, there's a very different approach to growing old gracefully.
We understand disruption in technology, but aged care isn't really an area where we see enough innovation.
We're in what's called a group home, one of 10 in Australia, with a new way of living for older people with high care needs, particularly those with dementia.
So it's 6 to 8 people living in a home in their local suburb. The model's very much a non-institutional model of care, where people with dementia get involved in everything of day-to-day life: cooking, baking, gardening, shopping.
I'm just trying to get it cooked through.
On the morning of our visit, resident Catherine is in the kitchen cooking an omelette with Maria. Anywhere else, Maria's job title would be carer. Here, though, she's called a homemaker. Every home has a regular kitchen like this one and shared living spaces, but residents have their own bedrooms and are free to spend their days as they like.
All the research shows that people thrive in a home environment. And it might not be their home, but it is a home. It looks, feels, and smells exactly like a home and functions like a home.
We also meet the family of 80-year-old Lex. He has dementia and is a little sleepy on the morning of our visit, but wife Rose says she's relieved he has a place here.
He's so well looked after. Every time we come, he looks great. He's dressed beautifully.
Rose lives nearby and visits daily. They recently celebrated their 60th anniversary and Lex's 80th birthday with parties at the home. A house party in a share house, usually what you'd expect from 20-somethings. Rarely, though, 80-somethings.
Did you think your dad would be living in a share house with flatmates?
No, we want to come as well. He's set the benchmark for us all, actually. And the nice part is there's dignity, and that's what you don't get somewhere else.
Costs vary depending upon the duration and level of care required, and at this stage may not be an affordable option for everyone. For shorter stays, though, when government assistance is applied, it can start from $190 a day.
So people can be, after retirement, living for another 30, 40 years. And the question is, what models are coming into the industry? We have the big institutions, we have retirement villages, we have living at home, and group homes essentially is disrupting and saying, you know what, let's think a little bit differently about care and about life.
The reasons for needing to think differently are becoming pretty clear. Just 20 years ago, only 12% of the Australian population was aged over 65. These days, it's grown to 15%, or 3.7 million people. But fast forward another few decades and it'll hit 22%, with 8.7 million of us aged over 65. The demand for retirement living options is about to explode. Businesses like Stockland have seen the boom coming, investing millions into luxury retirement living villages for retirees with money to spend after downsizing.
Since we've been here, we've loved every minute of it.
The Cardinal Freeman retirement village in Ashfield in Sydney's inner west boasts facilities more like a cruise ship or a 5-star hotel. If residents aren't too busy in the gym or in the pool,
1 cube of ice.
You'll find them in the clubhouse taking turns behind the bar. Tony and Barry bought into the complex recently after selling their family home in Oatlands.
We've made some lovely friends, and you know, we have a lot in common. We go on outings with them. It's really great.
The upfront cost is several $100,000 less than buying a traditional strata title apartment in the same suburb. But there is an ongoing monthly fee and a fee when you leave, so it's worth taking legal advice before deciding on a move. Many retirees, though, are happy to pay those fees in exchange for their lifestyle.
It's really luxury living as far as I'm concerned.
It's resort style living.
The village will soon incorporate an aged care facility where residents have the option to move if their health deteriorates, enabling them to remain in the same area and community. For many who live here, that's a comforting part of their retirement plan.
I can remember my parents and a lot of other people saying, oh, I don't want to be a burden to the children, but they always were. But in our society, we've got a plan for that, so as we are not a burden to the children.
Cheers, ladies.
But with land prices and space already at a premium in our big cities, some forward-thinking retirement providers have some unconventional ideas.
I think it's going to be exciting. We'll have our head in the clouds.
Get ready for the new buzzwords in retirement: vertical villages. On this site, U City in Adelaide's CBD will soon see retirement reach for the skies. A 20-storey mixed-use development with a retirement village on the top 6 floors.
I'm sure others are looking at it, and not just here in Adelaide, but around Australia, and in fact around the world, and saying, is this the new form of retirement living?
Simon Trapel is Chief Executive at Uniting Communities.
Increasingly, I think we're finding that that sort of product is the sort of thing that people are interested in.
The traditional villages, I felt, we looked at one very large one, and it felt rather like an enclosed compound for old people.
Ah, Chris. Good to see you.
Pam and Chris have already bought one of the apartments, and when it's complete, will trade their life in a town about an hour out of Adelaide for life in a high-rise.
We're on a large block, about 1,700 square metres, in a large home, which will roughly double the footprint of the unit we're moving into. So it does represent a really big change for us.
They, like many of the couples we spoke to, want to carve out retirement on their terms, without placing demands on their families or becoming stuck in a living situation that's not of their choosing, like so many of their parents did.
None of them had planned their end-of-life situation, and most of them, on the whole, ended up in situations where they did not want to be, they were miserable.
And so they wait as the building grows for the next phase of their lives, the first of many, perhaps, to build a retirement future in the sky.
There's perhaps a little trepidation, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but it's also very exciting.